sometimes, especially because we are technical professional, when you talk about sustainability, you have to speak about something more than technical issues. So you have to start from social point of view, pass through the economic point of view for each development. But I'm also interested to talk about the different meaning of this word. In the French language, sustainability is translated in durabilité. That means something that resists for a long time. Living in the old Europe, we used to think about this. We have a lot of our properties, maybe 70%, 80% of the properties are historical buildings. So how can we do for the next future? Also the lady that asked before to David, could be redesigning or rethinking the existing cities or part of that. We have to think about this. If you remember the past to design the future, maybe it could be the right way. In the past, 1,000 years ago, in our country, but also in other parts of the world, they used, the old people used a simple but very efficient system to increase the quality of their life. The Romans use natural ventilation during summer. They dig holes using the temperature of cold water downstairs, or the thermal mass to protect it, to preserve the energy inside the buildings. So we have to start from this, also designing new buildings, but also trying to preserve the historical heritage, changing the function of them, and trying to involve, as I said, the people that will live the space that will be realized in design.
I think stakeholders' engagement is very crucial in creating great architecture. So maybe Andy now.
Hopefully you make it in no question. I guess two things from one thing from your presentation, which was your last slide, which I think your last slide was the quote, which was, "Do the change you want to see?" I badly paraphrased that. And I think that, as I said, that same question that you had about what can we do? Are we greenwashing? The pointing the finger as to people won't listen. Doesn't matter if you're talking about conservation, or you're talking about engineering, sustainability, whatever industry you're in, most people, your colleagues are interested in what you're talking about, but outside that, they're generally not. Finding this common language, this common ability to share your argument, whether it be to save the Great Barrier Reef, whether it be architecture, is a really hard task. And with Earth Hour, it's really simple. As I said, it's probably the world's largest environmental first touch. It is not enough. Trying to get out there and listen to what much broader audiences are engaging in, and as David was saying, how do you put the things that give them delight in the areas that they live, is the big, great challenge. Whether that be in a communication sense, in an architectural sense, in the grand scheme of sustainability. I think that's the great challenge. When we started Earth Hour, we had two phrases that we kept coming back to, or two thoughts we kept coming back to. The first was, we wanted to do something that was more street party than street protest. So in other words, hope, not fear. Fun. And the second one was that Kennedy, and I'm going to butcher the quote, but don't ask your country what it can do for you, but what you can do for it. So we wanted to look at a community and say, how can you, individual citizen, kid, CEO, priest, rock star, what can you do to move this forward? And rather than what can I do? And or what can our team do? What can WWF do? What can Earth Hour do? So I think that's probably the two things I'd leave you.
Nicely put. Yeah. And Namak, would like to say something or not? I think lunch is waiting for all of us. Okay, thank you very much for staying with us, even though we have passed 25 minutes getting to your lunch hour. Before we conclude, let's give them a round of applause, please.